Hi everyone. I'm making both a document and a recording for this week's message of the week. There's a couple of really important things. I hope, whether you're watching this or whether you read it, there's a few really important things in here. I think not everybody's looking at my messages of the week, and we're not seeing each other. So when I send stuff out, please have a look at it. So there's some important clarifications. I'm seeing some worrying trends, so I want to address that right away while we're still kind of at the beginning of the semester. So here are the things that we're covering this week. If you're, some of this won't concern you. If you have the textbook, you've been doing the quizzes every week, you've already kind of done and submitted the first assignment, you know about the Zooms and you've already come to a couple of them, you know what's going on, most of this isn't for you, then you could probably skip a lot of this and jump to the office hours and the song of the week that is always at the end of these messages. So my apologies about last week's Zoom cancellations. I had to go get tested for COVID. I was scared. I had a dry cough for a couple of weeks and some flu-like symptoms, but I'm okay. The test turned out negative. The cough has already improved. In normal times, I would let this go for a while and just heal myself at home because there's not much you can do anyways. But with COVID, I didn't want to take any chances, especially since my son goes to high school. So there you go. But don't worry, one missed week isn't the end of the world. You still have plenty of time this semester. There's still 10 weeks left of the semester, 11 including this week. So you still have time to come to 5 of these as a participant. Remember, the longer you wait, it tends to be the same people so far. So there's a bunch of you who haven't come to a single one yet. If you haven't come to a single one, I really suggest you get started, because if you wait at the last minute, those last 5 weeks, guess what? There will be 20 students each time, and you're going to have to talk in front of a group of 20 instead of a group of 7 or 8 or 10. So just take that into consideration. And remember, when you come as an active participant, you need to show me that you read the book, which leads to the next point. Some of you don't have the book, and therefore you can't do this Zoom thing in an adequate way. We'll talk about the textbook more. But, come prepared to demonstrate. Like in your question or in your comments, you have to show that you read something. Speaking of the textbook, I've gotten a few Mayos just a day or two before assignment. The assignment is due, saying I can't do the assignment, I don't have the textbook. Guess what? I've been transparent since the beginning of the semester that you need the textbook for this course. The assignments are all based on the textbook, so you need to get it. I've mentioned many, many times that there's financial assistance, so if money is an issue, there are channels for you. If you don't remember what they are, get in touch with me and we'll find a way to get it to you. If it's not about money, you thought you could just coast through the course without the textbook, guess what? You can't. And there's no excuse at this point. If you go and look at the document, go here to distributed documents, the section called the basics. There's a PowerPoint about the textbook. It takes you through the process of buying the electronic textbook. You'll have instant access to it, so you can still get it and get the assignment done. It'll be tight, but you can do it. Or remember my late policy. I accept late things up to 7 days after the due date with a late penalty of 2% per day. So better late than never. So please get the book. You need it. This is, you're going to have 3 other assignments like this, bigger assignments. And so this means then that a lot of you have been doing the quizzes without the textbook. And yeah, it's physically possible. Maybe you're using my slides, maybe you're just guessing and thinking, oh, Jackie's marking me for doing all the questions anyway. Guess what? That's a formative assessment, like the stuff we would normally do in class. So yeah, sure, you're getting your points, but you're not really learning much. Not as much as you would if you would be doing it based on the textbook. And if you're not here to learn, I have to ask, why are you here? I know you have a lot of classes, you want to cut corners, I get it, but you're going to get more out of this course if you actually do the readings, and the PowerPoints are there to guide you through the chapters. So a lot of times you don't have to read the entire chapter. You can kind of look at my slides, look at the video, and I kind of take you through the important parts. Sometimes I add some extra info in the videos and the PowerPoints, but the quizzes will only ever be about stuff from the textbook. So yeah, you'll get more out of this course, and the intrinsic, like, internal motivation to learn is hopefully your guide here. Do what you can, but definitely you do need the textbook. There's no exceptions to that. The bigger assignments are based on the textbook, and you need to show me that you read it, and you need it for the Zooms as well. So get that textbook. Accessing the weekly quizzes, so including last week. So my apologies, I was, wrongly assuming something here. I thought that by week 4 of the semester, you'd all figured out your email stuff, and so that you'd all be getting those emails that My Daylight sends. Because in past semesters, I've never done this thing of putting the link every week on assignments and Dropbox. People were getting those emails every week. So I assumed that you would have sorted that out by now and you were getting emails. So some of you did not see that there was a quiz due as usual last Thursday. Oops, I'm sliding up and down here. So I also wrongly assumed that everybody knew at this point that every Thursday there's a quiz due. So I didn't put it in assignments and Dropbox. Alas, a bunch of you aren't getting them or not checking your email, one or the other. Check your spam folder, please. If you have been checking your emails and you're not getting emails from My Daylight, they might be going to your spam. That's happened to a few students. So check your spam or your junk folder and tell your email server, usually when you find something in your spam that shouldn't be there, there's a way, every email server has a way that you can tell it to send these to your inbox from now on. I had asked you all to use your student email to log on to My Daylight, so I'm guessing some of you aren't using it. So that's fine. You don't have to, although it's useful to keep all your school stuff in one place. But every email server also has a thing where you can have set up rules to have your emails forwarded. So you can go, it's through Outlook. If you're not sure how to do this, these are tech skills that you need to survive in today's world anyway, speaking of adaptation, haha. So, if you're not sure how to do it, make an appointment with me and I'll talk you through it. We'll share screen and I'll go through it. Set up a rule that when you get an email from this sender, it goes to your personal email, and then you won't have to worry about it. In any case, for the quiz that was due last Thursday, you can do it until this coming Thursday without a late penalty. All right. Normally there's a late penalty for those 7 days after the due date. As you've seen, I've extended each date each week after I take down the marks, and then I extended for those who are late. But this time I won't be applying a late penalty to make up for this kind of, and I'll go back to putting the links in assignments and Dropbox every week. There's already one there for week 5 because as soon as I saw this trend happening, I'm like, okay, they still need that link, so I started putting it again. Assignment 1, yep, due tomorrow. Well, it's due tomorrow because I'm making this on Sunday. If you see this on Monday or Tuesday, then it will have already been due. Please reread the instructions before submitting it, folks. Every time I assign something, a lot of students lose silly little marks for things they simply forgot to do because they didn't reread the instructions before sending. So, don't be that student. Well, it depends on how well you want to do, right? This week's learning activities, they've been up for a few days now. We're going to be learning about Neanderthals and early Homo sapiens. That's our species. So we're getting closer through these, last few million years we've been looking at to talking about us. Cool humans, sometimes not so cool. And the material this week is based on chapter 6 in the textbook, that I'm nagging you about. I put together a tip of the week, part 2 on being organized. So if you haven't seen part 1, go look at that one first. This week I'm giving you some advice about breaking up assignments into manageable chunks and putting those chunks in your agenda instead of just the due date for that final project that you won't see until just a few days before. So, I give you some tips on that, and you can do it on paper if you kind of like to have a paper agenda and notebooks. But I also show you around my favorite project management software in the second half of the video. So those of you who like to explore electronic tools, this is a free thing called Trello. I love using it. It's really handy for having these to-do lists, and there's an app for your phone too, so you can use it on the go as well as on your computer. So the tip of the week is in the usual spot, distributed documents tip of the week, and I hope it's helpful. I'm back to having my office hours this week, Monday and Thursday, 2:30 to 4, and if those times don't work, you can book an appointment with me by clicking here and finding this link. I have a few times throughout the week, and if none of these times work for you, then please reach out and we'll find a time that works for both of us. I found a song of the week that's kind of on theme, but not really. The title is, the lyrics don't have much to do about Neanderthals or even evolution, but there's a little caveman figure that's supposed to be a Neanderthal, and there's a cat. So, here you go. Alright folks, see you soon.